And now let's talk about the toughest lessons that you have learned in your journey so far. I know your journey has been short. You are too young, but still, I would like to understand certain things which you haven't shared in any forum.
I would definitely say there is a lot of, again, I would come back to this criticism. There is a lot of criticism, especially in a college setting. I still go around every day and somebody always has something to tell me. And also not give two heeds to what everybody is saying. Because again, I like to pull this phrase, but log to कहते रहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
So what excites you about these technologies like artificial intelligence and also autonomous driving? And what do you think the future holds for these innovations?
Very near future actually, maybe in 2030s, they will send robots to outer space.
So folks, we are joined by Tarini Sai Padmanabhuni. She's a LinkedIn top voice in personal development and one of India's top 20 under 20. And as the founder of Kalakara and Oilgasm and a senior driverless engineer at Formula Manipal, Tarini exemplifies multidisciplinary excellence, and she's a skilled public speaker, artist, entrepreneur, and former ML machine learning intern at testaing.com. And she fuses classical arts with cutting-edge technology to inspire and drive innovation. She's featured in prominent newspapers and magazines. And Tarini's journey showcases a powerful blend of creativity, technical expertise, and impact-driven leadership. Not only that, she is daughter of Srinivas Padmanabhuni and Neelima Obugari, who were featured on TGV English and Telugu respectively. So she's the third person from Padmanabhuni family joining us to inspire millions across the globe. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, from Bharatanatyam to driverless cars, a young achiever's multi-dimensional path, here is an exciting twist as always. Let us tickle our guest's brain. So Tarini, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
Hello, I'm Steve Ahern, one of the judges of the Asia Podcast Awards. I'm interrupting this episode to let you know that you're listening to an award-winning podcast. This podcast won its category in the 2024 Podcast Awards, so you know you're listening to quality. Enjoy your listening experience and congratulations to the team who created this award-winning podcast for you.
All right, yeah.
All right. So here comes the first word. Future.
AI.
Okay. And then aliens.
Real.
Universe.
Growing.
Role model.
Mother.
Innovation.
Tech.
Fusion.
Dance.
Discipline.
Dance again.
Creation.
God.
Curiosity.
Light.
Wow. Vision.
Elon Musk.
Amazing. And the last one is synergy.
Earth.
Okay. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively, Tarini. And when I say first, you heard it right. There is one more rapid fire round toward the end of the episode. So stay tuned. So folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Tarini, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Uncle. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you so much for being part of our journey. And let's get the ball rolling. We'll start with your guiding voice. Who is your guiding voice? You said your mom is your role model. Okay.
Yes, I would still continue to say that my parents are my guiding voices in many aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, I would also definitely like to say that I am a firm believer of the universe. So I do
Mm-hmm.
think the universe has its own ways of guiding you in the smallest of ways. And I would like to believe the universe.
Oh, amazing. And now let's talk about your success mantra. So please share with us the top three things that have contributed to your success so far.
Right. So I think I would still not say I'm successful by the definition of it. I have a long way to go. I'm still at the very beginning of what I have to achieve to the world. But I would say so far in whatever pursuits that I've done, one thing that I've noticed has been my mantra towards achieving a goal that I've set or goals that I've set in my past has there are three things like you mentioned. First one is resilience.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of times in the past few years of my life where I have felt like absolutely giving up. I've been at the bottom of everything, rock bottom. I hit every possible way. I was also undergoing absolute high amounts of depression and anxiety and stuff like that, if I can call it that. But I was at a stage where I was like, I'm just going to, this is not worth it for me. But I think resilience somehow kept me forward. Even at that stage, I was like, it's fine, just do what you can do best at your current stage. And I pushed myself through that at the toughest of times. And that's what kept me afloat, even at rock bottom. I obviously have my parents for support, but there are some things that you have to do on your own, and there is no one that's going to support you. There was a time during my peak where I had to do my best, where I performed my absolute worst in certain stages of my life, which would have taken me much ahead in life in hindsight, maybe. But when I was still resilient, and I was like, I'm going to do my best despite not doing my best in the past. And that's what got me to the stage where I am now. And now I have multiple avenues which I've started of my own, and I'm helping a lot of people. So I do find myself happy about that. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think one really important quality for anybody is to generally not give two hoots to what people say. I understand constructive criticism. I am totally for that, but I do think there is a limit, and you do know when people are trying to push you down. I would actually like to bring this point forward, which is especially as a youngster, if you try to do something that is out of the box, or let's say, out of the cliche, there are a lot of people that will try to come and push you down.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the truth. Anybody who's of this age group especially will definitely know that, and you will see it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so basically, being unbothered for uncalled opinions, that is something I feel like is an important quality to have, because otherwise
Okay.
you will get, everybody's opinions will get to you, and you will get to a stage where maybe I'm not doing the right thing, even though you mentally know that you are doing the right thing. You will get into the whole fuss of, maybe they are right, maybe I should not do this, maybe this is too much for me. People will always try to push you down. You just don't have to pay heed to that. Always open for constructive criticism, but you don't have to be open. No, you don't have to push yourself down unnecessarily through all of that. Number three is, I think, being opinionated. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really know. I don't think that this is considered a sort of not good trait in many places, in the sense that you shouldn't, push your opinion too forward, especially in a corporate setting and things like that. I do understand that there are different opinions. They should be respected. Where I'm coming from is that I think in today's world, where everybody has a platform, at least most people have a platform to put themselves forward, and especially girls, I would actually like to say, have a place to put their opinions forward. People should not shy away from putting their opinions, and I would say especially for girls, because a lot of times I have noticed, no matter which avenue you go into, there are people that try to push you down, like I mentioned, especially if you're a girl, and this is something that I have seen. uh, so being opinionated and expressive, I would say, is an important thing. I do think a lot of people possess these qualities, but I also think, especially girls, they try to push their opinions down, and in the regards of, oh, what will they think, what will they say, oh, maybe I should not do this, and oh, people will shame me if I do something like that. It's just a lot of biases that exist, but that doesn't mean you should not put your opinion forward. That's what I feel. So
Mhm.
just kind of keeping it like that, these three things.
I love it. I think mature themes are coming through, and it is very important for all the centennials to take a note of the things that Tarini has mentioned. And Tarini, thank you so much for sharing them so candidly. And with that, let's move to the next one. Now, let's talk about the toughest lessons that you have learned in your journey so far. I know your journey has been short. You are too young, but still, like I would like to understand certain things which you haven't shared in any forum.
Yeah, definitely. um Again, I think a lot of my answers will come from a place of my experience, which obviously is not as much as obviously my parents or somebody of that age. But my experience, I do believe, holds some value. Only in the reason that I feel like there are things that you get to know when you take a sort of leadership position as compared to a crowd. Uh, Only in that aspect, as a leader or whatever, as somebody who has created something, I would definitely say there is a lot of, again, I would come back to this criticism. There is a lot of criticism, especially in a college setting. I still go around every day, and somebody always has something to tell me, uh, good and bad. So there are both aspects of it. I think the good aspect is something that you can always cherish and be grateful for. But the sort of negative aspect is that people will always talk and try to push you down. And already, when you're hitting a rock bottom, it might affect you to the worse. But my way of getting through this, again, is uh, I've realized that when you're passionate about something, when you're so deeply passionate about something, nothing else will matter. So I would say, just keep your focus on what you're doing, the work that you're doing, and what kind of impact it's creating, the positive impact it's creating. Because anything will have negatives and positives, but it's very important for you to focus on the positive, and that will be your main driver throughout your entire course of pursuing this. In fact, when I started Kalakriya, I actually was a first year student. Basically, I
Mhm.
was like 17 years old. And I was like, I had started different ventures of sorts before that. I had started Oilgasm as well before that. But when I started Kalakriya, it was like a place I wanted to create for classical artists, because I had seen that it was not really there. And I'm a classical artist, and I wanted to put my talent. I wanted others who are in the field of classical arts and who've studied for so long to put their talent out. Which is why I was like, let's just go for it. I had worked on getting it through for 2 years. It finally came through in at the end of my second year. So basically 1.5+ years of just
Mhm.
rigorous working on making this happen, because there's a lot of procedure and all of that that comes through when you have to do something like this. But yeah, I finally did it, and now we are at, like, in my college, we are at 150 plus members, which is a very uh, happy thing to share. And also, everybody is equally as passionate about the arts as I am. And everybody is just, it's a wonderful community of driven individuals trying to make change through what they know best, which is the arts. And I really, really love that we have that community. But yeah, essentially, what I'm trying to say is, push yourself through the hardest. I know it sounds like very generic advice, but it's truly what is the truth.
Mhm.
And also, not give two heeds to what everybody is saying. Because again, I'd like to pull this phrase, but log to kehte rahenge, logon ka kaam hai kehna. It's your job to not really worry about what everybody in the world says, because you know what you're doing is for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. And one of your ventures name is Oilgasm, right? It grabbed my attention. What is that Oilgasm is all about?
Yeah, so actually, it started off by one of my seniors. He
Mm-hmm.
was it's essentially a podcast platform only. So
Oh.
we talk across different fields, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like what TGV does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what we do. And we talk to people across different fields, get guidance for people who've gotten into different jobs in different companies and stuff like that. It's a student oriented platform primarily. So
Okay.
even for people who want to study abroad, different colleges, stuff like that. But that is what we did. We started off with oil and gas related content, which is why
Mm.
uh, the name. Yeah,
Okay, got it. And Tarini, you have excelled in various fields, right from technology to the arts, right? So, how do you manage to seamlessly transition between such diverse areas, and what drives you to explore multiple disciplines simultaneously?
definitely. So I would not say I've succeeded yet. I am still in the process, but
Mm.
definitely, I think in my journey of varied fields, I would just say that every field has something to add on to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, me as a classical dancer, whatever qualities I have from that arena of my life, they all reflect in my work as a technology enthusiast or a person in
Mm.
the field of technology, or even in my studies, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because essentially, what happens is, uh, I would say, being a dancer or a classically trained musician, whatever it is kind of like an athlete only, because
Mm.
you have rigorous discipline, you have practice, you have to maintain all of that, and your entire body gets in tune with that sort of rhythm. Okay, I have
Mm.
this, I have this, I have that, and you get into a mode of absolute productivity in many ways, I would say. And I know a lot of artists will also agree with this, which is what I have seen in my life. So in fact, my Arangetram was during my 12th grade boards. My Arangetram was an Arangetram, for those of you who don't know, is basically like a solo performance for about 3-4 hours uh, of a Bharatanatyam dancer, essentially marking their entry into the classical world, official entry like that. So it requires a lot of practice, about a year of practice every day, 3-4 hours dedicating to the art,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
dedicating.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how much dedication that requires. Through that whole process, however, even though I had my board exams coming up, I felt like it helped me in my process more than anything else, because
Yeah.
it made my body so tuned. And this was during COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
During COVID-19, a lot of people became very lazy and reluctant to do work. But because I had that regular practice, I'm actually very grateful, because
Mm-hmm.
it helped me in so many ways, mentally and physically, to actually be healthy, number one, and number two is actually in many ways concentrate on my work.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm spending so much time on dance, I would still thank the whole process for helping me out in my academic avenues. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to share, that basically everything is kind of has an effect on each other. It's like you mentioned, a synergy of different things that really evolves one person. So for me, I truly feel like throughout my life, no matter what avenue I choose, for me, classical dance and of course classical music as well will play a huge role in whatever I do. It'll really
Right.
help me in all the aspects of my life.
Right. So, one more thing which I'm really curious about is you have merged the essence of classical Carnatic music and also Bharatanatyam with cutting edge technology, right? So, how do these seemingly distinct worlds complement each other in your journey?
Right. So I think I just mentioned that as well. It's kind of a synergy. Uh, there are a lot of things that I I'm definitely like arts and technology. You wouldn't
Hmm.
normally see them together, I guess. But the truth I feel is, in the world where we're in, this is the way to go when it comes to
Hmm.
a lot of creative aspects. I work closely with people who are into creating cyber physical systems in the space of art. That's a very futuristic technology, but also it is so nice to see that these worlds are converging, and these are active conversations I have with my friends, be it in college or be it outside college in different forums. That's what I've realized is there are a lot of people that want to make this happen, which is the convergence of art and technology. There are people who are absolutely passionate about it, myself included. And it's not really a joining of two completely different worlds. They seem to be completely different, but I would say there is a lot in common. Art has a lot of science involved in it, and of course, technology has a lot of science involved in it as well. Essentially, I would say it's all mathematics. So at the core of it, that's where we're deriving the commonality for everything.
Mhm.
So there is so much to explore, and I really hope that in the future, the near future, there is a lot that we see in these spaces.
Yeah, got it. And Tarini, founding this Kalakria and Oilgasm at such an young age is impressive. And because, as you said, uh, kids at your age, right, if I may call it, they are busy in terms of surfing through Instagram reels or consuming some content, whereas you have debuted into your entrepreneurial venture. So, what challenges did you face as a young entrepreneur, and how did you overcome them to create impact?
Right. So I would say that number one, my entrepreneurial journey has not really been uh, entrepreneurial in the sense that I have built a huge company, but in
Right.
the ventures that I have started, I will definitely say that y- you know one big aspect of whatever I've done. Yeah, so I think a lot of the times when I address audience, a huge part of my audience is students, and many a times, even in the panels that I am in, I'm the youngest panelist. A good example of this was the Leap Entrepreneurship program, as mentioned by you. I think one of the main things that I focus on because of this aspect of me being one of the youngest panelists is how I can relate to them at the most and connect to them the most. Because I'm the youngest panelist and I've been through whatever they have just maybe 2, 3 years ago, or maybe 1 year ago, I understand their pain points, I understand their concerns, and I understand exactly at what conjuncture they are in right now in their life. Because of all of that, my biggest advice for them, because a lot of the chaos in the mind is mainly with respect to which path should I choose now. I'm in 11th grade. I have one more year for my school life left. Which path should I choose? Should I tread the conventional path? Should I go for engineering, doctor, or uh, even maybe design? Or should I not pursue a degree? Should I focus full time on my, startup or whatever? I've heard all of these concerns, and I know these people are so enthusiastic about, all of this. They're genuinely asking these questions out of a real place. For me, my biggest message to all of them is if you are genuinely passionate and you can put in that kind of effort. By that kind of effort, I'm saying the kind of effort that Elon Musk put into making his first startup. If you're ready to put in that much, if you're ready to put in the kind of effort Nikhil Kamath put into making his startup at such a young age, only then go for it. And what that
Yeah.
kind of effort means is literally dedicating every single second of your life towards making this happen. Otherwise, I feel like you can definitely get lucky. Of course, luck is a huge factor, like everybody says. But there are avenues also for students, especially in today's day and age, for being student startup, having student startups.
Mhm.
But you want to be successful and you don't want to pursue any sort of education, which is, let's be real, a pretty risky thing in many ways, especially in India. I would say only then go for it. But otherwise, what I encourage people to do is start their own things. No matter what kind of venture it is, start something. Start maybe an organization in your college, start maybe an organization in the area that you're living, lead something, head something, and create some sort of high level impact. You will then see how you're able to work with huge groups of people. And not just that, you're able to understand this level of responsibility that will be on you.
Mhm.
Once you reach that level of understanding that I can hold this sort of responsibility, then I think you yourself will know your next step. So, for people who are not entirely sure about treading that path, I would say this. In fact, I myself, I'm a student, so it's not like I have left college and I'm pursuing my entrepreneurial journey. It's not like that. I am a student, and I do focus on my academics definitely, because that's something I see as helping my venture or my personal self through time. Uh, so yeah, I think each to their own, but what I'm trying to say is weigh in your aspects, and of course you need courage to delve into such a very risky avenue like that. But weigh in your aspects, and if you really really feel like you can do it, then you should go for it. I have in my circle, I am friends with people who are full-time entrepreneurs, who are dropouts from school itself, who have raised multiple crores of funding at a very very young age, at 17, 16. I know all of these people. I've interacted with them, and my circle has made me understand that you can do it, but you can't expect yourself to achieve highest amount of success unless you're ready to give your full time to it, which
Yeah.
is the only advice I would give.
Amazing. And this has been inspiring conversation so far. And also, now let's talk about the future of AI and autonomous driving technology, because you're already a senior driverless engineer at Formula Manipal and an ex intern in machine learning. So, what excites you about these technologies like artificial intelligence and also autonomous driving? And what do you think the future holds for these innovations? Because you said future is artificial intelligence, right? So I'm curious to hear from you.
Yes, definitely. So, through my time as a driverless engineer at Formula
Mm.
Manipal, and as, of course, an ex intern at uh, machine learning intern at Test AING, I think I have learned a lot about the world of future tech that's coming up.
Mhm.
In fact, my branch in my college is also very futuristic and something that a lot of people find interesting every time they hear it. It's called cyber physical systems.
Mm.
Essentially, what this whole branch or this whole bundle of subjects that's coming in for everyone is what I believe is going to drive everything possible. In fact, yesterday I was watching an interview by uh, the director of ISRO, Mr.
Mhm.
Somanath,
Mm.
and he was speaking about how space tech currently involves so much AI, and in the future, very near future actually, maybe in 2030s, they will send robots to outer space,
Yeah.
and they will sort of simulate the robot's experience onto humans, so humans can understand how the external outer space is. uh, and that's a very real future actually. In fact, there are courses in my college where we are doing these sort of simulations, and even in my own course I am learning about how to make such simulations happen. So even externally, I constant every day. In fact, right now there's one tab of this Zoom meeting, and there is another tab of me doing a course, an ML course. So I feel like we are surrounded by this at this point, and if you are not tapping into this world, you are sort of maybe missing out on something. It is definitely important to stay updated of, and of all the new happenings that are happening. In fact, yesterday even Kamal Hassan enrolled in a course of AI in a university abroad, which is so interesting, right? Kamal Hassan, who's such a famous person in his field and so achieved and stuff like that, he wants to learn about AI. Uh, which only says one thing, that the future has a lot of possibilities, of a lot of avenues for all of us to venture into, and it should be our duty to learn at least a little bit about the kind of world that we're stepping into. I for one am very interested and very excited about seeing what this world will be, and I want to be an active stakeholder in all of the new tech that is coming, and I'm sure that through this whole process humanity will definitely benefit from it. Despite the arguments on both sides, I do
Yeah.
feel that technology is here to save us, and definitely help us in our avenues.
Love it. And it has been fabulous conversation, Tarini. And it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode. If you're ready, let's kick off the second rapid fire round.
Definitely.
Okay. Here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
It would be me as a successful CEO saying, pursue your dreams.
Love it. Pursue your dreams. Awesome. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Uh, Passionate.
Passionate. And what is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Learn something new every day, which was given to me by my father.
Hmm. And AI or IoT, which excites you more about the future?
It's a mix of both.
Creative. And one book everyone should read.
I am currently reading a book called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and I think it's a very good book. So I would definitely suggest that.
Okay. And then your favorite public speaker who inspires you the most?
I will be very honest, it is my father, Dr.
Hmm.
Srinivas Padmanabhan.
Amazing. Yeah, I know he's a great orator, and kind of insights that he has already shared on the guiding voice and also on TGV Telugu. And in fact, we are gearing up for another conversation in Hindi and couple of more topics. So he's a great speaker. I completely concur with you, no doubt about it. And with that, let's move to the next one. What is the best way to overcome failure, in your opinion?
I think one of the best ways to overcome failure is to kind of look at your next step forward and see what you can learn from your failure.
Hmm. Look for the next step and learn from the failure. Amazing. And here comes the last one: an invention or innovation you wish you had created.
Interesting. I think computers.
Love it. And let's flip back to the mainstream after that amazing second rapid fire round. So, young achievers like you, right, often face stereotypes or underestimation also. So, how do you tackle such societal perceptions, and what has been your strategy to turn those challenges into opportunities?
Right. Firstly, I think every time somebody calls me a young achiever, I'm very honored and flattered. So thank you so much. But I would say, I think I've mentioned this throughout the interview, which is
Yeah.
societal perceptions and societal statements will always persist. The strategy to turn those challenges into opportunity is my strategy, I would say, would be to realize that not everybody, obviously, most people don't really um, look into everyone's successes as their own. um, the way you should think about it is with respect to your personal journey. I think there is one step forward is always something that gives your heart content. I'm currently seeing that in my own process as well. uh, of course, temporary happiness can come through means or avenues of being like, okay, I proved them wrong, especially in a college setting. I hear this statement so much, but I don't necessarily resonate with it. I feel like as long as you are one step ahead, or actually I would say 100 steps ahead from your last step, it is always a good sign. So that kind of trajectory is what I hope to see in myself, and I'm working towards in myself as well.
Mhm. Amazing, Tarini. I loved every bit of our conversation, and it's a pleasure talking to you. And how is your experience being hosted on TGV?
I think it was an honor, absolutely, Uncle. Thank you so much for having me on board. I know we had been planning this for a lot of time, and you had approached me a while back through a LinkedIn post comment, and it's been a while since then. But I'm very happy to have this conversation today, and I really hope that this reaches the right people, and I do hope to connect with a lot of like-minded individuals through this process as well. So thank you so much, Uncle. Thank you for hosting me, and it was incredibly uh, an experience I will definitely remember in my life. Thank you.
Most welcome, and a pleasure to host you again in future. So definitely looking forward to many more conversations and many more episodes with you. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
All right. So, friends, that was our episode with the Tarini Sai Padmanabhuni. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to our podcast from wherever you have tuned in. And also, if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the guiding voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now it's time for us to hop into the trivia segment. Having had amazing conversation with Tarini Sai Padmanabhani, who is working as a senior driverless engineer, I thought I would present you a few less known facts about origins of driverless cars. The first one is early pioneers in the 1980s. The concept of autonomous vehicles dates back to the 1980s. And one of the earliest efforts was the NavLab project developed at Carnegie Mellon NavLab project developed at Carnegie Mellon University in 1984. And researchers there, led by Professor Dean Pomerlew, used early computer vision techniques to create a self-driving car prototype. And this vehicle was able to navigate simple courses using basic sensors and also image processing, laying the groundwork for future advancements in autonomous driving technology. And second is about DARPA's role in accelerating development. The US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, significantly accelerated the development of driverless cars through its grand challenges. And in 2004, DARPA hosted its first grand challenge, a competition to build autonomous vehicles capable of navigating a 150-mile desert course. And although no vehicle completed the course that year, the competition spurred significant innovation and investment in autonomous vehicle technology. And the following year, in 2005, a vehicle developed by Stanford racing team won the competition, covering the course in just over 6 hours and marking a major milestone in driverless car development. So, folks, I would love to hear from you in terms of your thoughts on how the future of technology is going to look like with the driverless cars hitting the market very soon. So do let me know your comments. If you're watching this episode, you can comment there, or if you found this episode on social media, you can comment there as well. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.